If this, then that. If that, then something else. Hard to read, hard to test, hard to scale, messy, code repetition, blah, blah, blah. So here we've got a simple function that can be in the middle of your code that calculates the discount based on the tier that the customer has. Premium, gold, silver, bronze, and possibly you can have many more. Nothing wrong with this particular example, right? But what if we have 15 more discount tiers? What if you need to query a database for some reason? Or maybe you need to run some functions based on discount tiers. Any of these conditions can make this harmless piece of code messy and ugly real fast. Do this instead. So what we've done here is we've created a dedicated function for every amount of discount that the customer may get, with the default discount being no discount at all. And we just put it into a dictionary with the keyword of the customer type and the actual function that returns the discount amount. Let's have a look what it returns. It does exactly what the previous code used to do, but instead there is no conditionals, no nesting, just clean, declarative, readable code. Same logic is applied when you have to run a more complex conditional code. For example, running a function based on an argument instead of just returning a float. And if you indeed need to do some more complex computations, just imagine how blown up this process data function is going to become. So here, instead of just returning some hard-coded value from your dictionary, we are doing some computations on the data and applying a function to calculate average, sum, min, max, or this could be any other much more complicated code. So just like in the previous example, we're going to break up this if-else list of statements into single functions that are each going to do an average, sum, or any other computation we need. So now we have 4 functions that do the processing and the default process function that does nothing and just returns your data. Let's put it in a dictionary. Notice how we're not putting the default process function into our process map dictionary because it does nothing. And instead, it's going to be a default return from the dictionary get method, which you'll see in our main function below. All right, let's test it out. Data is going to be that same list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's process it. Now let's try calling it with some key that is not existent in our process map. So there is no SSS function or process type, and it's just going to return to you the default process, which is unprocessed data, a dictionary, or a list as you have passed it. What about calling it without arguments? Okay, it returns an error. This means that we need to give some default argument to the process type. Let's say default. Okay, and this way, if you call this function without any arguments, it's just going to return the list. So yes, of course, it is slightly more code, and it might seem as an overhead, but want to add a new condition or processing option, just drop a new function and update your dictionary. No need to touch existing logic, no need to break existing behavior. Each condition gets its own dedicated function. This means smaller functions, easier unit tests, and modularity. Python dictionary lookups are optimized under the hood. That means it's going to be faster than a long series of conditional checks. By the way, let's time it and have a look. So we've checked it 3 times in a row, and every time we've got a faster iteration using mapping. It's not noticeable with code like this, but it's going to be if you're going to have much more complicated logic. Want to load behaviors dynamically, you can populate the function map at runtime based on plugins, configs, or user input. But don't just go crazy replacing all your conditional code. If-else logic is perfectly fine in most cases. Do this if you have a lot of conditionals, you have complicated logic based on conditionals, or if you expect this part to grow in future. So map when it makes sense.